Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is unusual that I do reaction videos like this, but I thought why not? Since my game doesn't want to cooperate with me and I get stutters, I get frame stutters, and it's difficult to get some content out on that game. And whilst I still want to do it, let's spice it up a little bit. Let's get some different content up in there. So if you like these sort of videos or reaction videos like this, and let me know if you want more, then like and subscribe as well, of course. And I will leave a link to this video down in the description. Of course, go watch him and like this original video to show your support. But this is Marvel Rivals is dominating, and it's not even close. This video has appeared a few times on my my homepage and has 600,000 views as of recording this. So let's just get into it. I'll try not pausing too much.
Heard it said that hero shooters are declining. We've all heard it said that hero shooters are a declining, oversaturated genre, and we know that there's a sizable graveyard. We just saw Concord die, but of course...
Real quick. Concord didn't die because of the genre. I just want to say, I mean, we all know why Concord died. Let's not dive into that though.
That's an assessment that does
Oh wait, I like this guy.
Marvel Rivals is absolutely gigantic success, because somehow in a year where everybody has been mocking publishers over hero shooters and generally just mocking a lot of live service titles, Marvel Rivals is absolutely thriving, and that is not an overstatement. It got 10 million players in its first 72 hours, and by now it's actually hit 20 million.
I did see some people say that the reason Marvel Rivals did so well is because it has a big IP behind it, and I don't really think that's true. They have other games, right? Other Marvel Rivals games like Marvel Rivals Snap or like the Avengers game, and they did. I don't know if Snap did well, but the Avengers one, they did horrible, and it's behind Marvel Rivals, so it's behind Marvel. I mean, as long as you do it right and you do something properly and something people want, I mean, you'll see success, surely.
This is so much activity that Steam's backend even struggled, and for some developers it broke. They were not able to access the Steam backend to update their stuff, and this was all timed with Marvel Rivals absolutely ramming Valve servers, and of course their servers were getting rammed by both Tencent and NetEase, because at the same time Path of Exile 2 did happen to be doing quite well. So much so that together Steam actually hit a new concurrency record of 39.2 million users online at once. Which is great.
I swear this record gets... I see some new record get beaten
That's not what's truly noteworthy to me. A free-to-play game exploding and then just falling to pieces, or people quickly running away, a flash in the pan, that is not a surprise. It's actually what we tend to expect. And on the internet, when people tell you something is shocking, it's often hyperbole. Here, no. This is a shocking chart. This is the retention that we are seeing with Marvel Rivals, and this is genuinely impressive. It has essentially maintained its launch peak for an entire fortnight. This is a
Fortnite.
vanishingly rare achievement. It is absolutely stunning. The daily lows for this game are resting at 180k. And, well, they're good, the highs are good and regular, and I kind of remember the words of our erstwhile Prime Minister, Theresa May.
Wait, can I real quick just see what the lows were? The lows are 200k? That's kind of crazy, actually.
It's rare for a new game to be that strong and stable, and if you're Blizzard, you're absolutely going to be feeling a sting. So much so, you'll definitely need to check out today's sponsor. Gorboot.dev, they're a long-time channel supporter, and they actually just got better. So what they do is they teach you backend to start going on here. Marvel Rivals is a free-to-play just like Overwatch, but that's not really an even comparison because of price anchoring. Overwatch 1 was a paid game, and it was far less of a playable storefront than Overwatch 2 has ended up being, and that's what made Overwatch 2 sting. Of course, contrasted with all of the cool stuff that we were shown at BlizzCon that, of course, never ended up happening. With Rivals, well, it just has audience expectations being met. Everybody knows what to expect.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, for an extreme example, on this very channel, we caught a lot of flack for being harsh on the Delta Force microtransactions. To us, they were pretty damn bad microtransactions. That's why we criticized them pretty damn heavy in that video. But clearly, a lot of people didn't care at all, really. And I imagine it's because it was a free-to-play game, and it basically met their expectations. Here then, Rivals is made by NetEase Games. They're a group who absolutely know how to retain players based on the countless large-scale free-to-play live service titles that they run, many of
You
which
know, I don't know all the games they've made, to be honest, at
of
least.
course are on mobile, and well, they have many investments in so many other games as well. Now, brand-wise, this has got Marvel, but it's got a flavor of Marvel that, at least from my outsider's perspective, doesn't seem tarnished by MCU fatigue.
Yeah?
I mean, looking at the game, they're clearly leaning into comic art in a way that's actually cool. Their designs shine. It is the opposite of Concord. Concord's a game that did have a few banging bits of concept art, but
yeah, maybe two. Like, maybe two.
my god, there are not even words to describe how badly that all translated into Sony Photoreal 3D. It just didn't work. But Marvel Rivals has another strength.
Man, I started pausing all the time about Concord. What a piece of shit. Can we just talk about that real quick? Oh my god.
It is not wholly original, and you may think that's me just absolutely launching it into an attack, but look, it is pretty similar to Overwatch, but that's not really the main point. One person who did try to make a point in this, though, was Mike Ybarra, our dearly departed Blizzard president, who is still out there hunting down some tasty high-growth opportunities. He launched a rather infamous tweet. I'm just going to read it out for you. And, hey, you gotta get it here because he deleted the original. Quote, "Looks like Overwatch Marvel rival ships tomorrow. I mean, even the character name, Widowmaker in Overwatch versus Black Widow and Marvel Rivals, lol. Nettie's Tencent, all the same." Oh, Mike. Mike kind of had a...
What are you doing, man? What? Comparing Black Widow and Widowmaker? I mean, I see it. And they did give her a sniper, you know, that's the thing. But the name Black Widow, wasn't that like made in the 1940s or something?
point buried through the stupidity, but the tweet absolutely is just him literally saying that Black Widow, a character introduced in the year 1964,
she's an assassin,
is a Widowmaker knockoff, which is not true.
Yeah.
You could maybe say his actual point, though, is the character kits. In a way, it makes
that's what I'm
the point
saying.
He was trying to make.
Damn!
It also shows why people are resonating with this game. Black Widow has got a rifle. It's got a scoped bolt that does more damage. She's got a grappling hook. So yeah,
well, not really. I mean, grapple. Comparing the grapple to Widowmaker is not comparable. Oh, damn. I just lost focus. What were we talking about?
He will totally appeal to Widowmaker mains. But take a look at gameplay footage they have added to the kit. You've got a knockback kick, you've got a melee baton plus charged plasma round, and it does come together to actually play differently. Now, I get why Ybarra tweeted, but the gameplay here is different, especially with its close-range, third-person brawl element that's going on.
It's so different.
That's the point. Rivals does not just copy.
The only thing is sniper.
It iterates.
That's it.
Now, there's always going to be genre crossover. Maybe I'm going to take a look at, say, Paladins from Hi-Rez, but Marvel Rivals is different. Like Overwatch, it's got the split between tank, DPS, and support, and many of the 33 launch heroes do have direct crossovers, some that are absolutely leaned into. I mean, Black Widow probably doesn't need to be a sniper, and yeah, she'll definitely be like that to appeal to the Widowmaker mains. And some of them are inherent,
she can't
like
one-shot
Hanzo, who are both bow users, or Symmetra and Doctor Strange, who both use portals. But the thing that matters is
that's such a thin line to go off of, you know. You like, I don't know. In all the games there is, you will, and especially something like this, you will find a lot of similarities, you know. But they still stand on their own legs, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Is that Rivals gets to cook with almost 70 years of inspiration and a wealth of real-world player experience from other hero shooters, and that means what we've got is a
everyone knows Hawkeye has a bow, though.
That is an iteration rather than a clone. That is the point that Ybarra's absolutely dunked on tweet missed.
Can I quickly say Hawkeye shouldn't be able to one-shot? Let's continue.
I think it's why this is a game that is actually surprising and delighting people. It has iterated and brought its formula forward. And in a way, it's done that against traditional wisdom that would say that hero shooters on the downtrend, that there's MCU fatigue, and that the track record with hero games is actually pretty damn bad. When we think hero game, we're all just going to think of PlayStation Spider-Man, but that's because we've forgotten the massive graveyard of dead games, and even the Marvel graveyard, which
he's going to bring it now. I was talking about this earlier.
That was very much the lol cow of its here. But even good games that have got like big popular Marvel superheroes have failed to meet financial expectations. We've got two examples of this. One is Guardians of the Galaxy.
I heard about this one. Didn't this one do good?
And the other is Firaxis's Midnight Suns. And the thing is, those were both really good, well-reviewed games that just didn't sell. And then, of course, there's the now rather really good, well-reviewed games that just didn't sell. And then, of course...
What did they do to Groot? Why does he look like he's on like drugs or something?
There's the now rather end of life Suicide Squad Kill the Justice
Oh,
League.
no.
Before that, there's Gotham Knights. So it's not been a good time. By comparison, though, Marvel Rivals has got half of the internet standing Jeff the Bloody Landshark, who I didn't even know existed, and it turns out has only existed since 2019. So this is not a case
Wait, what? What? Was Jeff created then?
Put heroes in it that people know, and suddenly everyone will start playing.
He's new, that's
What
fair,
they've done is they've nailed the basics. They have carefully chosen some deep pools, they've chosen things that everybody knows, and they've executed it all to an extremely high standard. The mechanical diversity of this game, especially considering that it's only just launched, is absolutely insane.
A month ago.
That's a large part of why people will play it over Overwatch. One team can have, let's see, a teleporting ninja fight, multiple flight-based characters, web swingers, and where the web swinging actually feels good. If you've got Rocket and Groot, then you actually get an entirely new ability and game-wide mechanic on your existing set. And to quote from the game's director, the named Thaddeus Sasser, well, he basically said this: I don't know about you, but when I heard the concept of the game, I was like, oh my god, I want to be Storm in a game. I want to be Doctor Strange in a game. I want these heroes in the game. That sounds awesome. And of course, my mind immediately leapt to all the cool possibilities you could have with that.
That's the thing I was thinking about as well, man. Like, someone that grew up with Iron Man, I can play Iron Man in an online shooter, but that just heals your inner child, you know what I mean? Like, I can play Iron Man. That's so cool.
A very trite thing. I mean, of course he's going to say it. He's the director for the game. And it's absolutely not a fair one-to-one comparison, but do you know what appears in my head? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, where the first reaction from most people when they watched that E3 trailer was, oh, this looks like a generic third-person shooter. Why are we just doing shoot-bang with guns? This doesn't really feel like Heroes.
But it's just, I think it's this looks too generic. Doesn't it? It doesn't really feel like it has a soul a little bit. It looks good, that's not what I'm not saying. But it's just, you know, clap together some stuff. And
obviously, broad market
brand colors.
Consumers thought
it's just me. Maybe it's just me.
Any cut through. Well, look, that's enough lavishing this game with praise. Let's get back to business, especially because there's a statistic that puts this whole thing in context. Matt Piscatella's got 2 decades of industry analysis experience. He's the executive director of Circana. They're a long-time analytics firm. They are not small. You actually may know one of the companies they just acquired, Nielsen, as in Nielsen of television ratings fame. So they're a big fish with massive corporate clients. Literally, their stock in trade is actually having good analytics. And what's great is Matt shares loads of games data in public. This chart shows the percentage of weekly actives by game title, and better than anything, this shows just how winner takes all this industry is. Because we can see that the top 5 games hold 75% of audiences, like just by player numbers. And if you're an indie, in a way, that's okay, because you're fighting for the 25% of the audience, not the big 75%. You don't need that insane level of scale to be successful. But if you are a major AAA live service, you need to make a dent in that 75%.
Yeah.
You need to fight
That's
for those
facts.
games that are taking so many people in an absolute winner-takes-all industry. And of course, it's failing to do that leads to the likes of, say, Defiant going under the way that it did. Concord immediately dying because there was no real universe where it was going to get itself to where it needed to be. And it's in that context that Rivals is actually impressive. Because in a winner-takes-all industry, it has managed to get cut through. And this is what their director had to say. It's pretty wise. There's a switching cost. I've already invested in Overwatch. I've got 15 skins for Pharah. I'm not going anywhere. I think the trick is you need to have that reason that people want to come and play your game, and I think Marvel Rivals does that exactly with the superhero. I
want to say, they need to make a big enough dent that you want to switch from your main game that you've invested 2,000 hours in. For me, it's Overwatch. And bought skins, bought battle passes. You need to make a big enough impact that they switch, all right? And if you can do that, you know it's a good game. Well, I don't really feel like Overwatch. I mean, they've been on the slippery slope for a while.
Basically, the big point
with that game,
nailing fantasy and using the comics as an excuse to go extremely hard on designs and to make those designs fundamentally appealing. That has worked. Look, I'm not trying to be cruel to Concord on purpose, but just...
no one could be nice to Concord if they tried. What's there to say about it, man? Let's be honest here, bruh. Why did Concord do well? That's about it, you know. I could end the video right there.
Look at the skin variants. Look at what they look like. And now look at the things that you can buy within this game. So, Mr. Herman Hulst of PlayStation, if you're confused about why Concord, which you reportedly were really bullish about, if you're kind of confused why it didn't really work out, this is a really good example. But even with all that good, there are two things to discuss. Number one, business model. It's coming under some critique, and for strange ways, because it does seem a little bit pretty thought out. But also that this game is actually walking a very similar path to Overwatch, and they are going to have to be careful and make sure that they do not step into all of the ranks that, of course, Blizzard stepped into, meaning that Blizzard hit themselves in the face. Monetization first, and I'd say that it's mixed, though fundamentally it does have something that Overwatch does not have, in that it is a third-person game. Now, if you look at Counter-Strike, I mean, obviously, it's guns and knives, because those are the most tangible and visible things. But with, say, League of Legends, which has now got hyper-expensive skins that can cost hundreds of dollars, that's third person. You can see your character. It's almost as if regularly seeing the thing that you're expected to buy kind of matters.
Yeah.
Rivals then has got the standard suite.
I'm sort of pausing to like talk about it, but I just don't want to pause too much, you know? One thing I hate is when I watch a reaction video, if they're pausing too much and yapping, you know? I should bring my own reaction to it, and I think I'm trying a little bit, but he's covering it pretty well himself.
It's got a battle pass, it's got cosmetic bundles, but where things get a little bit dementia-inducing is, of course, currencies is one of those.
There's a lot of currencies in Marvel Rivals.
Using units, and you can get units through battle pass progression, challenges, events, and something that Monetization knows very well indeed, promo codes. So you may not know this if you've played them, but promo codes are a massive part of the gacha game world and culture. Basically, gacha game players are not stupid. They know that it is a crazy gambling hellscape, but the peace is kept because the gacha companies generally deliver a shitload of content, and they're often quite generous when it comes to things like promo codes, especially in major holidays and anniversaries. So their inclusion here is a smart leg up on the Western competition. It means if they just want to hit the engagement lever, they can do that.
What?
Now, what's odd then is the premium currency, which is called Lattice. It's $1 per 100, it's purchasable in discounted bundles, which all seems completely normal. But what's strange is it's used in only one way, converting all of your Lattice into units at a 1-to-1 ratio, which does feel really quite overcomplicated.
Yeah, I agree with this, actually. I feel like there's too many currencies. We could just have that too. I don't know if I really like the Battle Pass currency as well. I would almost rather have it you earn your Battle Pass stuff with XP. Because after I've gotten the things I want or whatever, the Battle Pass, I would have 4,000. When I have 4,000, I can't use. So what's with that?
Use within the Battle Pass to unlock things. Now, I have noticed pricing is raising some eyebrows. I mean, yes, things are extremely expensive in free-to-play games. You're basically looking at bundles costing $20 worth of units or $35 worth of units if it...
But, like, this one is $16. And you get all these things. If this... Okay, let's compare to Overwatch real quick. If this was an Overwatch, you'd get this skin only for $20. You want the rest, you gotta pay 10 or $5 more. And you can't see the skin. I'm just saying, that's just what I think at least. I don't have the numbers, but that, I mean, if Overwatch can raise the price however they want, they're like, yeah, we can get $5 more, yeah? Yeah, we can get $5 more, yeah? This is fair. Is this not fair? $16? Or no, is that crazy? There was literally a bundle in Overwatch you could pay for 3 or 4 skins, and the rest was like just goop they placed in, you know? Anything to raise the price, like if we place this little player title in here, we can put $5 more on it. And I'm not kidding, the bundle was like I think $70 or $80, which is the same price as the card they released. It was on sale. It was like 30 or 40 though. They always do that, 30 or 40, and saying it was once 90. And Marvel Rivals do the same. But I'm not paying 30 or $40 for a bundle. What is that just crazy? I mean, maybe they do the same here, right? I'm saying I would never do that. I can't see the skin or anything. Maybe my arm a little bit.
Thing, and of course to explain the MCU.
It just doesn't seem worth to me. But here I could see myself maybe doing it.
Cut. But there is one thing where I actually think we've seen good movement here. the Marvel Rivals Battle Passes do not expire, just like Halo Infinite and just like Helldivers 2. This is one of the things that I have been hammering on about for quite a while now in the industry. I think that expiring Battle Passes, say in Overwatch 2 and so many other games, are basically tantamount to FOMO exploiting pseudo-theft. I mean, the idea that you could buy one of these things and then it'll just go kaput, and that they actually weaponize FOMO to sell you progression through the thing that you already bought. Because whenever you buy a battle pass, yeah, you might intend to finish out the thing, but life can get in the way.
Yeah.
If that happens in this video game, you're still going to have your battle pass. You will not have been screwed.
I feel like more people will
Blizzard
buy the battle pass as well if they say, oh, you can still complete it. Because if someone's like, oh, I really want this game, but I can't pay this month, I'll still buy it and I can get it next month. But if it's an Overwatch or something like that, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it, I won't complete it, and it's gonna be gone soon. So
will happily screw you in all of their games with the way that they do their battle passes. So this is absolutely a good move, and I hope that a real major game that is doing numbers like this, implementing this type of battle pass, actually gets rewarded, because this is what needs to be the norm. So overall, it's mostly standard, a little bit of a mixed bag, but they have made a major piece of progress.
Yeah.
The next thing to talk about then is the challenge of running a game like this, because already they are seeing cries and demands from players for the sorts of features that some people in Overwatch loved and others didn't. Launch Overwatch 1 was a blast. It was an often busted blast, and many of us experienced that with the classic event. Now, with top-down pressure to focus in the Overwatch League and an internal desire to actually make Overwatch 2 PvE instead, so that they could have a stepping stone to something that would approximate Project Titan, the failed MMO, it's safe to say that Overwatch struggled with direction just a little bit.
a little bit. They still don't know what they're doing.
Still is playing out today, where Overwatch has basically morphed into its PvP self, and if you had hopes for anything else, well, man, that just sucks.
That
Rivals
sucks.
is a bit like launch Overwatch. Some shit is completely busted, and it's a bloody good time that's thrilling players, but it does mean they're seeing similar pressures. A lot of people want some form of role log. They will also want some...
I can't lie. Classic is the most I played Overwatch in a long time. When Classic released, Classic was so much fun. If they had role limits in there, not role limits, or like role queue type stuff, like something. Just not no limits. The no limits thing is what it just kind of took the fun out at one point. But it was really fun. It was really fun.
Form of role queue. How are they going to deal with this? And I say that because we've typically seen live service shooters through a ranked progress first, esports focused lens, something I see a lot of pushback to in comments of our videos. So navigating that is going to be a challenge here, especially because they have got such a broad audience. An audience that, in terms of its dynamics, I would say is far closer to the Overwatch 1 ginormous audience than the far smaller and I suppose more clearly competitive PvP focused Overwatch 2 audience. Now, where Overwatch was torn between multiple directions, it's clear that things are going to be a little bit different here, because this game is launching the way that it was intended. It's got 3-month seasons, multiple maps and heroes a season. That's the way that the thing is set up. They also get to have obvious marketing around films, major comic things, games, but right now, its real strength is a distinct lack of a calcified, ranked PvP-focused culture, which is what's set in Overwatch 2, where, of course, lots of people within that culture don't agree with each other on what direction the game should go in. And what that essentially
It feels like more the depth than anything, I'm not gonna lie.
means to me is that in terms of gameplay, this is the inheritor to Overwatch 1's crown. Now, from a world-building perspective, it is not an inheritor to Overwatch 1, and that is the thing that's tragic about Overwatch 1. So many people fell in love with the world, only to be profoundly let down, where the Overwatch world has basically just turned into an excuse to have branded crossover events. We live in hell. But at least if you like that gameplay, you've now got a game that seems catered to you. And NetEase's challenge then is avoiding the mistakes of Blizzard. On balance, I actually think they will largely succeed in this one, but only time will tell. And if you want to check out another hot bit of news, this video next.
Thank you, brother. It was a banger video, I can't lie, by Belula News. Okay, I just want to finish off by saying we all fell in love with Overwatch 1. And it did well, the game, and then they stopped developing it. And Overwatch 2 is announced, it all slows down. and then inevitably Overwatch 2 is released with a lot of lackluster things, a lot of things taken away, and it's not the game we fell in love with anymore. And you just kind of ruined it for a lot of people. Granted, you brought a lot of people new to the game, new people to the game, but imagine if you kept Overwatch 1, made it free to play, and then just continued. How many people would have been playing then? I guarantee you it would have been more. If you stuck to your promises, if you did what you needed to do. And it's a lot of difficult things. I know there's a lot of difficult things going on with the company during that time. But if you can't keep a promise, don't make it. I know that's so easy to say, but yeah. The Overwatch 1 was the game I fell in love with, and then they just removed all of the things that I liked, and it made it unfun. Like, for example, Doomfist is a tank. I don't play Doomfist now anymore then, whatever. Bang a video. Let me know if you agree with him in the comments. Is Marvel Rivals taking over Overwatch? Overwatch 2? Overwatch they had the chance for so long to do the right thing. And only now, after a long time, they're trying to finally do the quote right things. I think maybe. That's what it seems like a little bit at least, but still so much they need to do to make the game playable for me, because it is not fun. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to this video if you like it. Wait, subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the channel, man. What? Let me know again if you want more like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.